tonight. We are talking about graphic design. I'll give some graphic design tips, walk through a few tools that I use a lot for design, and then we can jump into any during the talk also we can jump in and make questions if anyone has particular questions. But yeah, I'll just kind of do that. It's pretty free form. So if you have a question or whatever, you can either put it in the chat or you can just yell it out or whatever. Anything goes here, as you can probably tell. So anyhow, before we get started, I will introduce myself and Chris. My name's Tina Derby, and I own Christina Derby Consulting in Ocala, Florida, where, yes, there's all the spiders. And Chris Allen, my colleague, is from just south of St. Louis, Missouri, where there's also apparently plenty of spiders. And Chris and I have different companies, but we work hand in hand, and we offer services like website design, digital ad creation, email campaign development, budgeting and business plan development, appointment setting and customer follow-up, pitch deck creation, and assistance with capital raises, and then customer relationship management systems for horse farms. So anything businessy related, anything marketing, design, computer programming, any of those kinds of things. That's sort of what Chris and I spend all day doing, sitting on computers, doing all those kinds of things, but all sort of horse related too. I've had horses my whole life. Chris has had horses. So, you know, we have the horse side of it too. So anyhow, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to going to get out of this thing, this end of the show, because now we're going to actually jump into some software. So I thought I would start by just showing a few of the tools that I really use all the time, like every day, all the time. And I'll show a few things that they can do. And feel free if you do stuff like I know a lot because I've been doing this for decades, but I don't know everything. So if you're like, oh, hey, I use this tool for such and such or do this or that, please speak up because, you know, hey, I don't proclaim to know everything in the world, but I do know I know enough to get us started anyhow. So Google Gemini, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Shoot, sorry. I was trying to move something and muted myself. Gemini.google.com is the URL for this tool. And it's basically Google's version of ChatGPT. And this tool I use a lot for creating actual photorealistic images for ads and for posts or for websites, for landing pages, funnels, any of those kinds of things where I need a picture of a horse and a human and a whatever else. And if it's a picture I don't have, which usually I don't have a picture, and I make it here. And I will show you sort of what I do. So right here, you can see one that I created this morning, actually, for this meeting we're having tonight. Which, was that a question or a just, no question. All right. If there's questions, throw them in the chat. And then, Kristen, if you keep an eye on the chat, you could tell me what the questions are. Our brains are thinking, not remembering. Oh, good, because, yeah, that's what my brain does. Yeah. So anyhow, let's see. Oh, so my prompt for this was please have, oh no, okay, I made a different one. Hold on, I got to go back to here. Okay, so here's the prompt, the original prompt. An image of a 30-year-old woman creating a logo for a horse farm on her large screen Mac desktop computer. The camera is looking over the woman's shoulder so we can see the screen of her computer. The app she is using to create the logo is ChatGPT. So that's sort of that is exactly how specific I was with my prompt. And typically with AI tools in general, the more specific you are, the better. So I'm sure you can go overboard on that, but you can be reasonably specific and it often will give you a good result. Sometimes it doesn't, and then you try something else, which is kind of what happened here. So I put in that prompt and, okay, it gives me this image of a woman doing a thing on a computer, and it's good. It's really quite nice. In fact, I almost used that one, except for that I noticed that the words under the picture were like a little weird. They weren't quite all words, which AI still has problem. It's funny because AI is great at writing. Like it can write you a novel, literally. But if you ask it to make words that are part of an image, it just doesn't oftentimes know what to do. Although it's getting better at that. But it's funny because you would think that if it could type the word in type, you could put it on a screen, but somehow gets bleh, doesn't know what to do. So anyhow, so I took now I okay, so this was making using Chat GPT to make the image. And then what I wanted it to do was to use Canva to make the image. So I didn't have to give it a whole new prompt because it could keep in its memory what I had already asked it. So I just said, please have the woman use Canva to make the horse business logo. And so it gave me a different image. And this is supposed to be Canva. I don't know that that's really what Canva looks like. I use Canva a lot. I don't think it looks like that. But anyhow, it didn't just completely get crashed and be like, what's Canva? Um, it's like, okay, here's something that kind of looks like what might be Canva. So the moral of that story is that you can prompt it once and then have it tweak what it is you are doing. In fact, let me try this now. Now, this was this morning, so I don't know how long that memory lasts, but we'll try. Please have the picture of the horse on the computer screen be an American quarter horse. I don't know. I don't know. It's been like 15 hours since I typed that, so we'll see what it says. But it might work. This is how we find out with these things because it's all new for all of us, obviously. And oh, look at that. It did. I remembered all the way from this morning. How do you like that? Oh, it's like 6 o'clock this morning. And it actually wrote quarter horse with actual real words. That actually does spell that. I'm not sure what some of it, some of this is a little bit weird, but yeah.
Changed the girl.
What's that?
Changed the girl too, didn't it?
It did change the girl. Let me see if I can get it to keep the girl the same. Please. And I don't know if I can, but let's try. Make the horse a thoroughbred and please keep the girl looking the same. Okay, let's see what happens. Again, right? It's so much is experimentation and fooling around. And some of it'll do, some of it won't. Sometimes it'll give you crazy stuff and you'll laugh. But it's all part of the game. But hey, even if it gets you 80 or 90% of the way there, that's great. Okay, it's a thoroughbred and
Different girl.
not quite the same girl. Yeah, she's similar. Well, her hair's, let's
She's
see,
out of here now. Change
please
the shirt.
make the horse what's another breed? Warm blood and keep everything else exactly the same. We'll see. It's probably not going to do it, but what the heck? We'll see how far we can push it. Now, I don't know if you all know this, but they say that they, being a lot of the AI experts, AI is doubling in intelligence every 6 months. So figure it has an IQ right now of around 150, maybe a little more than that at this point. Okay, it it doesn't have enough of intelligence to keep the girl exactly the same.
Now her hair's red.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's not quite there yet. Not bad though. I like the horse. But it's doubling in intelligence every 6 months. So by approximately December 2025, it's going to have an IQ of around 300, which is obviously something that we don't even know. What is an IQ of 300? Nobody's ever had that IQ, I don't think, in the history of the world. So that ought to be interesting. And then you figure it doubles again in another 6 months. So by June of 2026, it's going to have an IQ of what, 600, right? And then 1200. So freaky stuff. So it's obviously like today, this is kind of the best, which is pretty amazing. I mean, this is obviously totally good enough to use in many, many situations for ads or for landing pages or for whatever. But you don't like it now, come back in a few months because it's going to be infinitely better and then infinitely better again. And then it's just going to get freaky. And then, who knows what's going to happen after that. But okay, so anyhow, so this is one tool that I use. And then of course you can download the image from here. You just click to download it. It doesn't cost anything. So that's one of the really probably one of the most amazing things about AI is that most of it is either free or practically free, like 20 bucks a month. I mean, in the old days, gosh, I remember when we used to buy floppy disks, right? Physical floppy disks. Or then we got really advanced. We got CD-ROMs that you buy in a box at Staples, right? And these things cost like 1,500 bucks, right? Or more for this kind of thing. And now I'm getting it for free. I can make, I don't know, I've made thousands of images with this for absolutely $0.
So you don't
So
have it,
that's
there's no
pretty,
licensing for the images or any of the graphics that are used in the image. You can use this in any promotion and
yeah, I think so. I mean, I always have. Let me see. Actually, let me ask. Um,
so I saw a prompt that maybe if we wanted to try it again, you could say just change the horse. I wonder if that would work.
okay, yeah, let's try it. Change the horse. Make it a Welsh pony. It doesn't get every breed, but it kind of gets the major breeds. If you ask for like a saddlebred or something not common, often it's like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. But these things I know it gets all those. Okay, so there's a Welsh pony. Nope, didn't work at all. The horse is great. It's doing a great job on this, but nope, just no. Come back in a few months.
Start yelling at it. I
I
told
know, right? So there are other tools where you can upload, and I haven't worked with them a lot, but there are other tools where you can upload the image, your base image, and then they're specifically designed to keep like the person the same, and then you could use that. But I don't know how good they are on the horse part, right? So it's hard because they might be great on the person part and might keep the person the same, and then any subsequent horses that come out look crazy. Um, so, there's not a perfect tool yet that I've come across, but for the things that I use this for, which is mostly, advertising, social media posts, and then like landing page and website design, it's totally fine. And it's helped people make a ton of money selling camps and riding lessons and whatever else we sell. Sip and rides, of course, because I love that. But yeah, so it's not perfect, but it's darn good, and it sure beats not having photos, which is what most of my career doing any graphic design with horses has been, not having the photos that I would like. So anyhow, so it's getting better. Every day it's getting better. So that is Gemini. Now let's flip over here to, now I'm going to take the exact same prompt. It'll be interesting, I think, to take the exact same prompt and throw that into chat and see what chat comes up with. And we can compare the image. That will be interesting. And I don't know which will be better. I have a feeling I know which will be better, but I'm not saying anything yet because I don't want to prejudice anything or insult any AI tools that are all listening to me right now anyhow. So, I don't want to upset anybody. All right, so this is the exact same prompt that I put into Gemini this morning, and okay, well, it's not as fast. Probably more people are using chat because chat is so well publicized. I'm guessing that more people know about chat than Gemini. Okay, chat. Yeah, may take a moment. I guess so. It's definitely taking a moment. All right, so while we're waiting for that, I guess, does anybody want to talk about what she or he is using or planning to use this types of things for? Like, are people making ads? Are they making social media posts? Are they designing websites? Are they doing something else, making merch? Anybody?
I use Photoshop mostly, and I make flyers and what else do I do? Brochures. We do booklets. I work for a nonprofit, and we don't really sell a lot of merch. We try to get membership, and we try to broaden the scope of where we're advertising. But um, Yeah, it's mostly advertising that I do.
Yep. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that's certainly what we do a ton of is advertising, and this has worked incredibly well. And I have to say, which some people, especially when I first started using AI images, they were like, "Oh, I don't think those can convert as well, or work as well as my real person images, like the real life." And I've tested a lot over the last whatever it is, year or whatever, since we've started using this, and I'll tell you, AI images do just fine. If they're a good image, they convert beautifully. So, everyone can run her own or his own tests for sure. It's always good to test things, but yeah, it's if anybody's worried like, oh, AI won't work, AI works real well. So, okay, so now we can see what chat has come up with, and it's probably a little hard to tell because it's probably the image is small on your screens. It's small on my screen, so it's got to be small on your screens. But I don't, if I double click it, look at that. It gets bigger. I don't think I've ever done that in my life. Um, so one thing I notice on this, and I've noticed this in the past, but I didn't want to mention it. I think that the Google images are a little bit more realistic looking. There. Yeah, I think this more looks more like an actual photo. Like I know this is not a photo, but to me, it could totally be a photo. I can't tell that it's not. This is still looks
Yeah,
a little bit not quite like a photo. It-
animated.
What's up?
It looks animated. It looks like a graphic. The
Yeah,
face.
exactly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And that's what I found with this in the past. But, eventually one day we'll make one and we'll be like, oh my gosh, this looks like a real photo too now, right? Because it keeps getting better. But right now, if you were looking for like a really photorealistic image, I would go with Gemini, which is what I currently do. But again, that can and will change. AI, you never know what they're coming out with tomorrow. Um, but what I do know is that some people have had some exceptional success using chat GPT to make logos and like line drawings and things that you want to actually look like a graphic, like an image, not photo, anything non-photo. So if I say something like make a uh, logo of a Welsh pony farm. I don't know if it'll do Welsh pony farm. We'll see. I don't know if I'm pushing that too far. When you start getting into breeds, it'll know things like Arabians or quarter horses probably, but Welsh pony, I'm not sure. We'll see. It's definitely a little slower than, so let's try it because this is so much fun. Because this actually to me is fun. I don't know if everybody else thinks this is fun. This is literally fun to me. And I know for some of the people on here, it's fun. Um, Hold on, I got to move 15 screens to get out of this one screen. So let's enter a prompt here. Okay, let's see how fast this goes. Any faster? Oh, and in case anybody's wondering how this is pronounced, Imagen. They pronounce it imagine, not Imogen. I just heard that today because I'd always wondered. So if you want to be cool and you want to pronounce it the right way, it's imagine is how Google pronounces it. Okay, so here's Welsh Pony Farm spelled with two A's because that's how we spell it. Um, oh, see, yeah, I think this is better for like logos and stuff. If I were going to go for a tool for making logos or simple designs like this, I would probably go with chat. Although again, I'd test them because you never know, right? They could make an update to this and then all of a sudden tomorrow it could be better than chat. In fact, they just did come out with a new version. I don't think it's on here yet. No. But there is like literally a new version like that's be out in a week or so. And who knows, it could be a million times better than chat. So we just don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is it's pretty darn good. And then and I haven't tried, can you make the, uh, keep the image the same. Keep the horse the same. Keep the horse the same, but change the font to a sans serif. I don't know what will happen, but I'm just playing around with you guys with this thing too. And we'll see what happens. But this is the kind of thing, like if I were designing something and I really was like, oh, I like the image, but I want a different font, I might try that. The other thing actually that I would do, and I will do that in a minute, is we'll just download one and I'll uh, show some things we can do in Photoshop. Things that I do frequently that are not, okay, that's not bad. There's a nice sans serif font, you know? Is that the same image? Yeah, it's the same. It kept it just the same. I think that's exactly the same image or really, really close.
Well, when you save it, what file format is it in?
So usually it comes in as a PNG, I do believe. Yeah, I think they for both of them, they download as PNGs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just leave that one there in case we want to play with it. Oh, let me see. Here's one thing. This is important, especially if you're going to use this to like put onto, well, as a logo, or if you're going to use it to put on like a t-shirt or merch or whatever, you want to have a clear background. Please, so this, I'm always nice because you know, one day the AI is going to rule us all, and I want it to know that I've always been nice to it. That's great. Please make the background transparent because right now the background is cream color, and if you put that onto a shirt or something, it's going to be cream color, which you may not want. And so transparent backgrounds are great for anything that's not a photo, basically. Well, not always, but like if you had a watercolor, you would you want the background? Well, probably you wouldn't want transparent. You might. Anyhow, so there's transparent backgrounds and there's non-transparent backgrounds. This is actually a transparent background, and you look at it and you're like, but no, it's all checkered. That's actually in the world of graphic design, that's actually means that it's transparent, unless you told it to be checkered. But when I look at that as a designer, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's the transparent background. Welsh pony transparent background. And we'll pull that into Photoshop in a second and play around with it a little bit. So yeah, so when you see that, usually what that really means is it's transparent. Now I'm going to pull down from here one of these images, doesn't matter which one. And because I'm just going to show you a few things that I commonly do in Photoshop, which again, there's so many programs that can do different things or do the same thing really. So it really depends on what programs you have available and what you want them to do and their capabilities, right? And like I use a number of different tools, and I think that's pretty common. Pony photo, hello. So I'm trying to type something, but it's apparently refusing to type anything. Oh, it's just not going to type. I don't know why. All right. Can I just save it? Yeah, let me save it, wouldn't let me type. Who knows why? I don't know. It's just like, nope, not doing that thing. Oh, so this one downloaded as a JPEG. So, all right, whatever. It's going to be either typically a JPEG or a PNG is what it's going to download as. So I'm going to open Photoshop right now, and I will show things that I often end up having to do in here, although less and less because these are getting so much better that like I don't usually have to do so much changes in Photoshop as I used to. But like, okay, so here, let's say I was like, okay, I want to use this in a on a landing page, right? But look at the crazy, what are those words? Those are not words. So what I would do here in Photoshop is there is this remove tool, which is super handy. This is a fairly new tool. And I would just take that and I'll just wipe over this and make it a little bit bigger here. And I'll just wipe over it and click this little thing here and have it get rid of those words because those words are not going to work for my image. and it's going to remove that. And look, that removed a beauty. And it doesn't always remove it perfectly. Sometimes you have to do it a few times or whatever, but you know, it, it's pretty handy, and it sure beats the old-fashioned ways of doing it. So it's, you know, but then when you start looking here, you're like, oh, look at this is like a little weird, and it's kind of, let's just say I'm going to take this out because I'm like, that looks a little crazy. Doesn't look exactly right. And so I'm going to just see if I can take that out. And this one may not remove perfectly because it's kind of a larger area, and the AI doesn't always know, you know, it can't see into my head and see what I want to have it remove or not. Let me see if I can, I think I can undo, yeah, some of that. I had a little too much here, so I'm just going to undo parts of what I just selected. So right now I'm just using this remove tool to select something, and now I'm going to tell it, okay, get rid of all that stuff that I just selected, and we'll see if it will. So Photoshop's great. Photoshop is, yeah, see, it did this weird thing. And so I won't get into the depths of this because I don't know that everybody is using Photoshop. But if you are using Photoshop, would you just put that in the chat if that's something you guys use? So I'm just curious how many people, because I would do a more in-depth thing on Photoshop, but I don't want to drag everybody through Photoshop if you're like, there's, you know, only two of us that ever use it. But it is a great tool. If you're going to be like serious about design, it's certainly one of the best ever.
For
And
something like this, wouldn't you just select it and delete it and then fill it in with that color? It would
you
be so
could,
much.
yeah, you could, for sure. I also might use the clone stamp tool to clone stamp over it. So yeah, in this case, you know,
Just delete it and paint it.
what's that?
I would just delete it and paint it that color and it would be gone.
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, you could totally do it that way. More than, you know, several ways to skin the cat.
Yep.
So yeah, in this case, it's sort of a nice, easy thing because it's so it's just a gray background. But like if it were something on the horse, like I used to have to deal with a lot of rain. They've gotten a lot better recently, but it used to be that like any of these AI tools would make the horses looked pretty good, but the rein, it was always putting like two sets of reins on, or it would put like half a martingale on and stuff, and then I had to like get rid of them, and you couldn't just like really paint it out. So, you know, but so you get in there and you sort of what I would do anyhow is I would take the remove tool, I'd get a lot of it out, then sometimes I'd have to go here with a clone stamp and clone stamp over it, right? And whatever. But you know, it's all just graphic and design stuff. But you can see that's like some of this stuff is still a little wonky. So you'd really need to come in and clean this up if you're going to use this. And that's where really Photoshop would be the right tool for this. Like, I don't know that you could even clean this up properly in Canva. I don't think Canva's sophisticated enough for this. There are other tools similar to Photoshop that I think are free. I don't use them because I have this one, but you know, sort of similar ones that or free or much less expensive than Photoshop, which isn't that much. It's only like 55 bucks a month these days. But you know, still some people don't want to spend that. So anyhow, but that's what you would do is you would bring it into a tool such as Photoshop, and then you would clean it up in here and, you know, perfect all these little things. So it's still not perfect yet, but boy, it's awful good though. Awful good. Um, and then, you know, with Photoshop too, I'll just mention since we're in here that you can animate, like if you wanted to animate, let's say we wanted to make it look like the girl is let's say you were going to make a post on social media and you wanted to have it go from a Welsh pony to a thoroughbred to a quarter horse to whatever, right? Just this part. You could just animate. You could turn this into a GIF and you could just have that image changing like, you know, every second or whatever, changing into a different breed, which that could be pretty cool on social media to have something that with that motion, because human eye is naturally attracted to motion. So, and that would be another thing that you could use a tool like Photoshop for doing. It's quite easy once you know how. But you
Well,
know,
you can make an animated GIF in Photoshop.
oh, absolutely. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Which
I
again,
know.
if we get enough people that are, and maybe, and if we don't, like you and I could sit down together and play with that because I do love doing this stuff. But if we had enough people that use Photoshop, I'd actually do a whole nother one of these Monday things for everybody that uses Photoshop if they want to have me show what I know how to do with it. But yeah, you could totally do that.
I think if
Um,
I remember correctly, the most popular alternative that's free and like Photoshop is GIMP.
Oh, yes. Yep, you're right. I know I've heard of that. I've never used it myself, but yeah, that I think it's very, very, very similar to Photoshop. So I think a good choice if you don't want to pay for Photoshop. I assume that's still the case. Did you just look that up now, Kristen, or are you just going by memory from 10 years ago?
Going by memory from 10 years ago.
Why don't you look it up? Ask ChatGPT. While I'm doing this, you ask ChatGPT, what are the most popular free versions of things that aren't Photoshop but are like it, and then let us all know. That would be very helpful. But you're right, GIMP was the name of that one. So that's what we would do here. And then what else did I say? I was going to do chat. Oh, Canva, of course, because when Canva first came out, or when I first heard of it, I was like, well, I've got Photoshop. Why on earth would I need Canva? And here's the thing about Canva is that it's so stinking easy for a lot of stuff. I use it every day. And it's not that I don't have fancy Photoshop and all the Adobe programs. I've got them all because it's all part of Creative Cloud. So yes, I could absolutely spend more time putting together stuff with Adobe programs, and yet I use Canva all the time because boy, is this a nice, easy tool. Not for everything, right? Like for what we just looked at, it wouldn't be the right tool. But boy, if you're putting together like ads,
Boy.
it's great. It's so simple. So let me pull an ad that I was just working on
The
here. I think,
top ones that I see are GIMP, Pixlr, Canva, Photopea, and Paint.net.
interesting. Okay. I can't vouch for any of those. Well, other than Canva, which Canva is not like Canva is not a reasonable substitute for Photoshop, at least that I've ever seen. So, take what that list was with a grain of salt. I think GIMP is legitimately like your actual substitute. But anyhow, but you'd have to play around with the other ones. But it is good to have some program that you use that can kind of get down to that really nitty-gritty level. If you want to be sophisticated, if you don't need it, then you don't need it, and that's fine too. But, you know, a lot of times, I don't know, I use it all the time. Like I'm daily in Photoshop, so I think it's good to have that kind of skill. But for like putting together just ads, Chris and I, we use Canva literally every day to put together all the ads we do. And it's so nice and simple. Like if I want to like this, okay, this one, so that on the previous screen, I didn't show you guys really, but you can see I have one sort of basic setup for all the designs that I do, for the posts that I put on the Facebook posting about these Monday office hours. And so it's really easy. Just come in here and you find another image you want to use, which probably literally all of you know how to do this because that it's that common of a tool because everyone loves Canva because it's so easy. And all you have to do is just grab your image and plop it in place, right? And then you can move it around and drag it and do whatever. And it's just easy. It's just easy. It's great. I mean, it doesn't do everything, but boy, the stuff it does, it's just fantastic and fun and fast. You can do animated things with it too. If you want to make a little slideshow, we do that a lot, where if you wanted to, let's say, make this would be a different image on this page. I didn't mention what I just did. All I did was to click down here on the page, duplicated it. Now I've got 3 pages, and then I'm going to put these kids here, and then you can actually run right through it. Hold on, I got to move 15 screens out of the way so I can get to the controls. My goodness, I have more controls on here than like I do actually the tools. Let's see. Where's my thing? That's not what I wanted. Oh, duration. That's what I wanted. So you can animate it here, right? And then it'll just go right through. It's kind of slow because I've got these are taking too long. Hold on, I got to move more tools. Sorry guys, but it's just the way these things, we all know that Zoom puts all those things away, which is exactly what I'm dealing with. Okay, so here we go. So if you want to change the length of the slide, for anybody who doesn't know, you would click on the slide. Right now it says 5 seconds down at the bottom, and you can click here and you can change it to like 2 seconds, which is 2-3 seconds, usually enough. You don't want to have it stay for too long on social media because people don't have enough attention span anymore. And you can also make these different. Like if I wanted this one to be longer, I can make that one, 3 seconds. This is only if you want to apply it to all the pages. And just scrub this back here, and then you hit go, and then you've got your images, right? And it goes for 2 seconds. This one's going for 3 seconds. So that's great. Chris and I use this all the time also for making ads and stuff for Facebook ads or for posts. You could use this for making posts for TikTok. It's fantastic. And you can put video in here too. If you have video footage, you can put that in here. And so you can have video footage, but a lot of times what I find is that people don't have necessarily video footage. So what is kind of a good, reasonable alternative to that, something with motion, because again, human eye is very attracted to motion, is to have something like this, which is a little slideshow that goes through. And then you can, of course, you can put music on it. But Chris, sometime you should do a whole thing about how to make your own music, because boy, Chris probably could be the next Taylor Swift with the AI music she has been making. I cannot do that. I have not figured that, but boy, like some of that music you've made is remarkable. Like it sounds like real professional music. It's crazy. So if anybody wants to have Chris do a thing about how to make your own music, oh my gosh, you can't even believe it. In fact, we should send that out after this so people can hear like that I'm not making this up and I'm not exaggerating. It's really ridiculously that good. You would absolutely think a professional musician had made this music. I mean, it's good too. It could like win a Grammy. So I just pulled over a little clip, and I don't know if you guys can hear this. I'm not sure that you can, but I'll play it. Can you guys hear that at all?
No.
There's music, just pretend la 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 la, right? Okay, so I threw some music on it. So the cool thing, and this is why we love this, is it does a great job. It's fast. I can make a brand new, ad in no time, and these work too. Like because we do Facebook ads all the time for clients, and they're just, they just work. I mean, it's so exciting to have something that's not difficult and it works so well. So, okay, so that is Canva. Does anybody have any questions? This is supposed to be a 15-minute overview. It was not. It was 45-minute overview. But anyhow,
Well, I
questions?
think this because Chris just made an ad for me, and I sold 2 camps today, so I made $1,400 because of this.
Thank you for pointing that out, Christine. Yeah, so that was, yeah, it's exciting, right? Like, I mean, it brings in money. Yeah. And Chris really she's a rock star with her camp ads. She's selling camps left, right, and center right now. So we love that. And yeah, this is a big part of how we do it is using this tool. So any other questions or comments about this or anything else? I didn't really get it much into like using making images for putting on merch, although I mean that's wonderful. We all love that. And it's such a nice way to I mean, you can build an entire business just on that, make big money, or it could just be a side business of what the regular business is. But it's so simple these days. It's almost no reason not to be selling merch of some sort or another. So, if anybody has interest in that, we could talk about that or anything else. Or it doesn't have to be anything. It could be anything. We could talk about whatever. Spiders. That was nice.
Don't like spiders.
Don't like, okay, so no down with spiders. Boo. All right. What else is happening? Who else is doing stuff? So Christine sold 2 camps. So congratulations to Christine and Chris. The Chris's go. Killer team. I love it. What else is happening?
Oh, a lot.
Okay. tell me something.
You want to know? Really? No, I got a lot going on. You know this. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I know you are excited. You literally have gotten to the point with your business where well, as we talk about often, you have to pick your pain because like your business is so successful, which is great, but then it's a whole nother series of difficulties and more just different pain than,
Hiring people.
yeah, exactly. Now that's your pain rather than not
Yeah.
having clients. Now I got clients and I need the people to go with them. And now, yeah,
Oh
I
my God. I can't grow no more before I have somebody. I mean, this is ridiculous.
yeah, you won't be able to keep it up. I know.
No.
No, no. Yeah. Chris, Christine has gotten to the point now where she's like, do we have any camps that haven't sold? Because like, then we just don't have to
I
do them.
literally said that today. I'm done.
Yeah. Can we have some less business or more people? But it's hard. I know it's hard. And literally, and I keep saying this, in a few years, there will be robots. I joke not, that will, I don't know. I mean, they're making them currently to like work in people's houses as a maid or a helper for, elderly people or whatever. But I'm sure that we can train them to like clean stalls and help with the horses.
Tina,
So
you want to go in the chats?
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Denise has a question. Let's just
Oh, okay. Let's see. Um, do, 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 do,
Kristen
do.
is the one that does the ads for me. I do nothing with this. I can't.
Yeah.
God, no,
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Absolutely. So I think so this is a great question, Denise. And I think that one of the big things about what is happening with the ads that Chris has been doing, um, is that it's been a combination of lead ads and then really excellent emails and it's automated emails and text messages that go out as soon as the lead gets added to Facebook, and it gets added immediately to Facebook, and then it gets added immediately to the CRM, and then they get the information that goes right out, and it, for whatever reason, it's working like magic, I will say. And Christine, are you okay if we may not want robots cleaning the stalls? Okay, maybe not. We'll
What?
see.
I
No, we're
want
pretty.
robots like doing my stalls. I don't have nothing against it at all. But what's the question? I'm sorry, my worker just.
The question to you, Christine, was, would it be okay if we showed what the emails and the text messages are that are going out from your account?
Go ahead.
That
I want to see him too.
okay?
Because Chris
She doesn't
doesn't
know
know this.
either.
I don't know.
I just know the money comes in. I have no idea what beyond that, I can't tell you. Yeah, so let me just give me a second to you guys talk amongst yourselves and hold on. Why is this not letting me type again? Oh, there we go. Um, yeah, I just have to log in. That's all. It just takes a second, obviously. And it's gonna make me go, and you know how it makes me like it's gonna send me a code, blah, 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 which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's just being careful, but it's just that it just take me a second to log in, that's all. Which one is it here? As you can tell, I kind of have a lot of these, and I don't know which one it is. Wait a minute. It is one of these. Oh my gosh, which one is it? I don't even know. All right, that might be. Is it, no, that's PRF. All right. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Maybe it's this one. Honestly, as you can tell, I don't know. All right, let me go get that code. Keep talking, guys. Or somebody's thing. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody tell a joke.
Dana.
Kristen, come on. It's a you meeting too.
I don't.
Yeah. Do
Hi,
something,
Jack.
Chris. Dance. Let's see. Add another. Oh,
She's so
add another.
loud. I can't hear her at all. Kristen, are you there?
I'm here.
Hold on, I gotta try to find this. I gotta log into
When
Yahoo
did you
now.
turn
Oh,
the ads on, Kristen, from me? I don't even know. Was it Sunday?
it was last night.
Was it
Yeah.
last night?
Yeah.
You focus on your thing. You say we're not supposed to talk. So last night and today at 2 or 3, between 2 or 3 o'clock, I sold the 2 camps.
The camps. Yeah.
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 I saw the email pop up and I was looking. I was like, oh, there's 2 camps sold.
Yeah, I'm so glad. It's great. I needed that too. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Wow,
you.
we got a thunder and lightning going on here right now.
Oh,
So
do you? Wow,
yeah,
you guys had some wild weather this year. Um,
I think everybody got wild weather this year.
yeah, that's probably true.
That's also a typical thing, right? If you don't know what to talk about the weather.
Yeah, that is true. That's something we
Yeah.
all have to deal with. You'll get a WhatsApp message. Okay. Why,
Oh, we don't look.
why
Don't
is
we
it
love all
WhatsApping?
this? All
I have a
these
question.
groups, Jesus Christ. Yep, that's lightning detected. Name my
Wow.
location.
What was your question?
For Chris and Christine, for the camp, do you have it set up to where it goes all the way to they can pay? Like I'm missing the
Yes.
steps and that's
Yes,
where I'm messing up.
you need to make sure that they can buy it right away. Really, pretty much. But ask Kristen. I really have no idea what she did. I really honestly do not have a clue because I don't have the time. Tina did it the whole time, and Kristen, they know more about my camp ads than I do.
Then can you
Because
pull
I
up
don't have
that account? Sorry.
I
Yeah.
have a funnel set up when once they get to either the website or the funnel, they can get all the way through and register and pay, and they're just not getting to that. I'm getting the leads and
Okay.
sending out the welcome email, and they're just not finishing the process. So I'm not sure what I'm missing.
Yeah, we'll take a look here in 1 second. Kristen, can you pull up that account of Christine's, the Impulsion account of Christine's? As we can tell, I'm still trying to log into Yahoo to get the thing, to get the book, right? Like it's taking forever for me to do this. I don't blame Impulsion for this.
What do you charge for camp, Denise? Where you at?
Northern Virginia
Okay.
and $4.90 for the week.
That's for me, for my area. Do you know what the people around you charge?
Anywhere from like 350 to $7. So I tried to be kind of in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I found it.
Okay, thank you, because this was not working. I do know how to log into things, guys, so don't start thinking I don't.
I know
can't.
you do.
I
Just
swear we
takes me
spend more
really
time
long time.
logging in than doing anything.
Yeah, I know. They've got to fix that, but oh well. All right, Kristen, do you want to share your screen and you can walk us through stuff?
Can you not see it?
No,
I can see it.
I see.
you can see it. Oh,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Okay, I'm not really good at this. Oh my gosh, there, now I can see it. Okay.
Okay. So this is the email. The lead sees the ad and then they fill out a lead form on Facebook, which plops them into this CRM. And as soon as they hit the CRM, this email automatically goes out with this button that will take them to the funnel page. And this link right here where it says register here, as well as this button, also take them to the funnel page. And this
Okay.
just talks about the camp weeks, the times available, the cost, and all those sort of things that people want to know before they buy it.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to
And
check
then do you
the
want
funnel page maybe too? So what I realized, that lady today, because I have a WordPress webpage, and the WordPress webpage shows me where the people are coming from, where they're buying from, and they came from Google. So
Oh,
Google is very important. Yeah.
are you doing
So
Google
Google
ads
is
or is
very
that
important.
just
No, they just look. So this is
You're
you have to
searching.
think about exactly. They see your ad and then they okay, who is this? Something like this,
Right.
you know. And then they research you a little
Google
bit.
reviews seem to be important. So I've been people when people have a really good time, I go, can you write a good Google review and a Yelp review? Because that's what everybody's using when they're looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
So this is the landing page. So once they get that email, and they get a text message too, right, Kristen?
Yeah, they can also get a text message, and then in the text message, I also mention that they can pay through Klarna or one of the other few options that there are for like the buy now, pay later situation
Yeah.
for those that are like apprehensive about dropping a couple $100 all at once.
Yeah.
Which is awesome
Yeah.
right
So
now
it's
in the
great to have
economy.
those. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's gives people more options on how to pay. So, and just go ahead and scroll through it. That's great. Yeah.
This
So
is
it's pretty
beautiful.
simple. You know, all of our funnel and landing pages, they're pretty simple. They follow a very similar format. And I have to say, I mean, I don't want to pat ourselves on the back too much, but they do tend to generally they work pretty well. Um, so you know, they don't have to be super fancy. Like I don't think this is a fancy one, but it's got the info that people need. As you can see, one of the things I think this is really nice about this page is that it has these video reviews or video testimonials. And you know, testimonials are great and it's nice to have the written ones, but if you can get video ones, which are usually that's not too hard if you just ask your clients for those, then you just plop them up here and boy, it's pretty powerful, I think. So
And they don't
it's
have
well
to
worth
be
asking clients.
long either. Like this one's
What's
only,
that?
I said they don't have to be super long either. Like this one's only a minute and 12 seconds. So even if they're only willing to do a minute talking on video for you, that's good enough.
Yeah, doesn't have to be a long diatribe, just enough. And as you can see, two of these are kids, one's an adult, totally fine as long as the kids' parents are okay with them doing the video.
They asked and they were all fired for it. They were totally,
Yeah.
you know, I have more actually than these three, but
Yeah. So, yeah. And then if Krista, why don't you click through to scroll up and click through to one of the buttons on there so people can see the other page. So there's then there's the payment page. So people want to actually go ahead and purchase. And it's true that they get like, they're going to see that the ad, they're going to get the email or and the text. They get the email and the text. They go to the landing page, they click through here and then they can buy. Boom, right? Happens within, you know, a minute or two. And you can see that they have a firm Klarna Afterpay. I don't know that anybody's actually used any of those to pay.
no.
I've never seen that they have, but
Well, the
it's
area
right
here,
there.
which is that nobody needs it apparently, so
Yeah. But they're available. You know, generally the more ways you give people to pay, the better. Although I think most people just use a regular credit card and I think it's pretty normal. And yeah, and then click where it says Camp Kristen and so you've got a little drop down where it says June 9 to 13, right? And then they can pick all with the camps that they want to, you know, they can pick them from here. And they can add them to their cart. So if they want to, like the lady today, you know, she picked a couple different ones.
are
and
there
then she purchased.
are there any that are empty? Do you
No,
know?
there's zero. Then there's none that have everybody's like the first three ones are almost all the way sold out, and then
Hmm.
the other ones are like halfway sold out. So yeah, sorry. I know
Yeah.
we're voting for bad stuff. We're not sorry.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law, right? Yeah.
Well,
So no, you can't cancel any of them. Sorry. But yeah, so it's this, you know, so it's not difficult. I don't think any of it's difficult. Kristen, can you jump back to Impulsion and just show the text message? Because again, it's pretty short and sweet. Like, but and it works because this is the same system that we've used for a farm in Texas that's also having like
so
crazy success. You know, and what I always say about like anything like this, or with ads, when we find winning ads, we start using them in like everybody's accounts, and it doesn't always translate. There's times when an ad will do great in Virginia and it'll do terrible somewhere else. So it's not 100%, but usually, 80% of the time at least, if it does well one spot, it'll do well another spot. And I'm just like, don't change anything. Just copy it, put it over there, change the town or the name of the farm, and then just do the same thing again. Because if you don't fix what ain't broke in this particular case.
Denise, do you have your leads? You said you have your leads and everything. Then you can
Yes. Yes.
you can actually do like send out an email or text message and offer them like a coupon or something. Maybe they wanna, or even I would even talk to them. Hey, maybe just to find out why they're not converting, right? The best way to do is ask them, you know.
Right.
So
Just,
you can
yeah.
call them, you can say, hey, blah blah blah. I
Yep.
see that you're interested in the camp. Is there anything I can answer any questions for you? Is there anything you're curious about? Things like that. I would just go down the list and see if you can maybe,
That's a good idea.
Where do you
Absolutely.
get your leads?
Facebook.
Yep. Yeah, we run Facebook ads.
On
For-
what?
On what do you mean?
Yeah, you have certain groups that you run the ads in. Like, where do you run your ads on Facebook?
We do them through Facebook Ad Manager. And so we can target like for most of the farms that we work with, we target local people with an interest in horses. And you can tell Facebook, the radius around like the town that you want. It'll go up to 50 miles. And then you can also do national or international campaigns. And again, you can target on Facebook. If you do it through Ads Manager, you can target amazingly. That's why it's so successful, is that you can really focus in on a very specific niche. And the algorithm now on Facebook is so remarkable that it will literally read through the ad, and it will listen. If you have like a video ad, it'll listen to the video because it'll transcribe it. So it'll understand what you're advertising, and it will go out and find the best people to put your ad in front of. And that's why Facebook is just such a great platform to advertise on, because its algorithm is so incredibly advanced. It's probably the best algorithm for ads anywhere.
Does Ad Manager cost money? Do you pay for that?
Yeah, you pay for the
Well,
ads
think
themselves.
about it. But how much did you spend, Lisa, last year? Roughly.
Oh, I don't even want to look at that number yet.
Yeah. So
Way too much. But what your question,
I
your
think I'm
original,
about at 15,000 or so. Yeah, something like
is,
that.
I don't know. We spent a lot, but I
Yeah.
will say that what your original question was is it doesn't put it on groups. It puts it on people's feeds. So when you're scrolling through,
Right, yeah.
ads
And
pop
you
up
get all
as
those
part of
ads.
the feed.
You'd be one of those ads.
it'd be
I
one of
build
those
my
ads.
business on ads. I build my business on Facebook ads, literally.
Absolutely.
I don't really do
Yeah.
anything else. You can really do that. So the $15,000 spent are very,
Yeah.
very well spent.
How much? Wait, how much did you spend on Facebook? Did you say 18,000?
About 18,000 probably.
Being a
Yeah.
nonprofit.
When you
Well, I
see,
mean,
here,
this is not yesterday, This is over years.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, and the nice thing about Facebook ads, and this is not the same on every platform. Like if you go to advertise on TikTok, it's gonna, at least last time I looked at it a couple weeks ago, $30 a day minimum. On Facebook, you could spend as little as you want. Usually people spend around $5 a day minimum to advertise, but so it does not have to be a big expensive proposition at all. And the great thing about Facebook is that you can run an ad for a day or two and you can see if it's doing well, and if it's not, what you do is you turn it off, and then you test a different ad, and you keep testing until you find something that really is getting you an excellent return on your ad spend. And then when you find one that's a winning ad like that, then you start to increase the amount you're spending on the ad because you're like, okay, this one's, making its money back for me. So
Yeah, and then
it's
Tina
really
tells you
good
to
about
spend $20 a day.
yeah, and
Well, $30 a day.
absolutely. And that's not
40.
even that much compared
Suck
to
it
what
right
some,
in.
but yeah,
So-
but when you're, well, like we have some ads running right now where for every $1 we're spending on the ad, not we, it's not us, the clients, but for every
Well,
but for where
yeah.
every $1 spent on the ad, they're getting back like $20 or $25. So you put in $1 to the ad to spend on the ad, but you're getting back 25, right? So 20 or whatever it is. But my goodness, that's a nice trade, right? Put in $1, get back 20. Do that all day. And that's when you have that result, that's when you start to increase your ad spend because you're like, yeah, now I want more and more and more. I want to spend
Right.
another $1 and get another 20 back.
You're gambling.
It is. It's like gambling, but it's control, like you control it, right? It's not pure luck.
Right.
It's testing, it's scientific
Right.
testing. And when people don't do well with their Facebook ads, it's because they're not testing enough. They're putting an ad up and they're just letting it run. And I've seen this happen. And they're just letting it run and they're not paying attention to it. And like that's not how this works. You absolutely have to look at that ad, and if it's not working well for you, you shut it off and you
No,
try a
you
different.
just let Kristen and Tina look at their ads.
Well,
So
okay, or you have Kristen and me look at the ads because
you don't have
um,
time to look at their ads.
yeah, you can't, right? If I were working, because I used to be a trainer, so I know what it's like to be in a barn all day, and that, and you can't be in the barn all day working horses and teaching lessons and also and then on the computer. Like you got to pick one or the other. You really can't do both. And so that's why Kristen and I do this for people because you can't do both unless, I don't know, unless you don't sleep and then you have a drug problem because you got to sleep sometime, right? So it's just I think we've found it to be a better way to to help people out. I mean, we'll teach people to do their own ads if they want to, and some people do want to, and that's fine too, if it works. But for a lot of people, it doesn't work. Whatever. We're just here to help, and whatever way we can help the best, we're happy to do.
If
Put
you
it
wanted
that
to
way.
reach a younger demographic though, because Facebook seems to be the older generations, if you wanted to reach the younger people, what do you use for that?
Yeah, I would look probably, well, Instagram is actually still skews fairly young. So Instagram, but I would definitely look at TikTok for sure. And Snapchat is definitely younger. So I don't know how young do you want to go younger?
At this point, probably like 20s.
Okay. Yeah. So TikTok and Snapchat's still pretty good for that demographic. And actually YouTube, many, many younger people, they don't even watch TV. They hardly watch Netflix. They spend most of their time on YouTube. So I would go heavy on
Other
YouTube.
people play games. Seriously.
What's that?
They watch other people play games.
Oh, they absolutely do. Because I saw my
Yeah,
nephew do it. I'm like, what are you
seen
doing?
it all
Why are
the
you watching someone else play? Why don't you go to play the game? He's like, no, this is great. I'm like, okay, I guess. You tell me so. But they do. They'll spend hours watching somebody else play games. Very weird.
Yeah.
My husband even does that. Makes me crazy.
It's
Your husband does it?
bizarre.
It's like maybe
Seriously?
start watching baseball. Like if you don't play baseball, you watch
Well,
baseball.
that's true. Why don't you go play? And they don't. They watch. Yeah, it's the same thing. You're absolutely right. Or I guess it's like watching somebody ride a horse, right? So I guess we should. Okay. Well, you got us. But yeah, but YouTube absolutely. And you can advertise on YouTube for sure. And you can advertise on TikTok, but you also, if you put up good content on those platforms, and on Snapchat, the way all the ever since YouTube came out, it really forced the hand of all of the platforms to really push good content more than they had been. And so if you put great content out there, uh, it will get seen if it's good and people really are enjoying it. So it's a wonderful time right now to be, to be advertising, to be promoting anything. It's not like anything we've ever seen in the history of advertising and promotion, that's for sure. I'll be right back. You guys talk. I think my cat's getting in a fight outside. I gotta go.
I have to go anyway. I wasn't expecting to
Oh,
be
all
off.
right.
So
Your cat is
All
getting in a
right. Then
thank you. This is very helpful.
awesome. I
Bye.
love it. Well, we're here every
Go-
Monday at
go save
8,
your
8 p.m.
cat.
Eastern.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you
Yeah, one-
later.
Go
Bye-bye.
save